Hi, we're just going to show you how to make this very simple spirit box. You can easily add reverb or additional amplification, but we're just going to show you how to make the basic box. So obviously we do sell these products if you struggle to build them yourself. Various designs. This is probably a box you're familiar of, that you've seen that I've recently built. So where the knobs are accommodated in the top. So I'm just in our workshop at the minute, and yeah, because we've received quite a lot of negative comments regarding some of the DIY things from sellers, then we just got a bit bored. So we think, why not share how to make these bits of equipment with you. And like I say, if you do struggle, then you can pop over to our shop at infraready.co.uk. Either help for assistance, ask for assistance, or if you want just easy to buy one, then please feel free to do that. So I've got a signal generator, I've got an FM radio module. It's got a knob missing, but not to worry about that. We've got an antenna and a speaker. So this is the most easiest way to create the box itself. So I'll just guide you through it. So a speaker, obviously need a bit of solder, a wire on each terminal of the speaker. This is a stereo module, but it can be bridged to make it into a mono. Then you just tack the speaker into place on these speaker terminals. So at the minute you'll see, if you get a little bit closer, it says speaker right, and I've got plus and minus. Doesn't matter which way you connect those. So the way these modules work is, well, it won't work, the knob won't work anymore, but as you twist this knob, it will basically allow you to, let's say if I disconnect the power from that, it's just disabled that at the minute. Let me see if it, probably because I've linked it up to the pulse gen. Yeah, so it disables that, but basically you twist that, and you can see it doing it a little bit, but it'd just flick through the station. So you could effectively use it as a manual ghost box. And you've got volume on this side. My batteries are a bit thin, but yeah, so I'll just chop out when I've turned it up full. So I'll just turn it back down for the benefit of a demo. So what we have, if you hold this button down, it's a campus radio, so you'll actually get SN on, so that's the reducing the noise ratio between signals like the squelch. So you won't get any noise between you can set it so you can see that's it's cutting out the white noise. But if I turn that back on and we try again, or turn it off should I say, you'll get a lot more static between the signals. Unfortunately my batteries seem to be a bit out over here. So I'll just disconnect the circuit now, so I'll show you how it works. So you can get any antenna, it can just be a bit of cable. So again, if we look at this circuit here, we've got FM antenna. As you can see, I've just used this 3.5mm plug-in portable aerial that I've plugged in, well, basically soldered the connection crudely into place. So basically just got some solder, heated it up on the connector, just dropped into place. So you can put an antenna on as suggested. The speakers just go onto these terminals, so I'm doing it all crudely. So you can see that they went on to speaker plus and speaker minus. As suggest, doesn't really matter. What I've done for the power, it's a bit fussy. It says 3 to 5 volts. So I've just put in one of these clips for a PP3 battery. I've then got 4 AAs and one of these nice little holders, and that just pops on top. Any more than 6 volts it won't like. So if I was to pop this one on, for instance, you'll see it comes on, but the circuit wouldn't like it. It's better to use this anyway. You get more consistent current out of it. The batteries will last longer. So right, so we've covered the aerial. We've covered, obviously, that needs to be plus, red to plus, and minus. If you buy these leads, then the red one obviously goes plus, black minus. Right, now the rotary encoder, in order to give this a signal to mimic the encoder, what we need is a pulse maker. I'll show you this one. This is a special one because it's got a dual output, and you'll need a dual output to mimic the signal, or the encoding signal and frequency that the encoder would give. So what we'll just do quickly, if we can, I'll just tack the speaker. Try to do this leaning over the camera. Just tack that speaker back in place. Turn it down a little bit. Right, so if you solder a wire onto, I'll show you, onto 3 legs of the encoder. So 1 flying lead from each leg, and then when we get to this, it's called a dual frequency encoder. So I'll just see if we can get one up on eBay. So eBay, so dual frequency generator. You get a lot of test gear up, but it's a dual, probably a dual signal generator. Dual signal generator. Again, there's a lot of test gear. Right, there we go. So it's called a dual channel square PWM pulse wave signal generator. I'll just lift that off of there. As you can see, £2.59. So that tells you what the buttons are at the bottom. So what I've done is that I've taken the bottom one, which is ground, and that goes to the middle pin on the encoder. So it's middle pin on the encoder to either, there's 2 grounds, you've got one for each pulse wave. So you've got pulse wave 1, pulse wave 2 and ground. So it only needs to connect 1 ground because basically they're common. Then the second 2 you get PWM1, and I've put that to pin 1, and PW2 goes to pin 3. So you can power this off the same battery, but just to make life easier, I'm plugging it in to an independent 9-volt battery. I'll just drop my desk light. Right, so as I press the first button, so you've got channel 1, which is FA1, and also DU1. So I'll just have a quick look at what this says on here. So, so it's got serial communication. If you want to connect this, so you've got the frequency duty cycle and the frequency range. So we'll set the duty cycle of 1 first. So these two buttons then are then up and down. So what we do is we set duty cycle to 10. Well, we'll start with FA1, so we'll set FA1 to 40. We'll set DU1 to 10. It's trial and error. And then we set FA2 to 5. And we've already set DU2 to 5. So basically what we're trying to do is to mimic the square wave that this will send, that the encoder is sending. So one way, it'll be basically looking for a signal of a short wave to say it's turning left, and then a long one to say it's right. So as you can see, it's stepping up at the moment. So it's going through the channels there. Obviously just knocked something there. So what you can see, if we start to change, drop the 40 down, that would set, and that will start to cycle really slow. If we bump it up, then it'll start to step. But what you want to do is try and set the channels, the 1 and 2 channels up, so they're in sync. So it's like one's half of the other basically. So what we'll do is we'll reduce. We'll start through these again. We'll set FA1 to 40. We'll set DU1 to 40. We'll set FA2. We'll also set that. If we set that to 40, so we'll set everything at 40 to start with. So everything should be more or less balanced. Right, so you see when they're both set to 40, that's obviously setting the box to scan rapidly. So if we then choose one channel, say FA1, and we start to reduce that, well, you'll actually, right, so you see the box is stepping down now, but then it'll stick in certain frequencies. So that's when we're about halfway. So so you start to find a nice sweep there. If we reduce it further still, that'll step very slowly. So that was the basically a downward sweep. So let's just show you again. So that's going down through the numbers. And if we set FA2, can do exactly the same with that, but now as you can see that is going up. So once this is in your box, obviously you need your volume, and then you'd need 3 push buttons to change your sweeps. Obviously we've not got the antenna on at the minute, hence the reason you aren't hearing a great deal. So some people actually like detuned boxes, so if you want it to be detuned, you can put a switch on your aerial. Into place. Come off again. I'll just hold it in place. You get the gist. As I said, the batteries are going in sounds like a train. So that was quite an effective way of doing it. Probably start at 0, then you can increase your rate. Right, thanks for looking.